My name is Eliana, and my husband, Ronald, and I both have successful careers at well-established companies. Ronald earns more than I do, so while we share household expenses and utility bills, he primarily takes care of groceries and daily essentials. Despite our busy schedules, we understand and respect each other's workloads. Whenever one of us is swamped with work, the other steps in to help. If I know I'll be working late, I message Ronald in advance and he takes care of dinner. Likewise, when he's overwhelmed, I handle all the household chores. Even after 5 years of marriage, we've continued to support each other, creating a strong partnership. One evening, I worked late and rushed home. "Welcome back, Eliana. Dinner's ready. Want to take a bath first?" Ronald always made sure I didn't have to stress over anything. Even after dinner, when I offered to do the dishes, he would gently refuse. "It's okay, Eliana. You've had a long day. Just relax and watch TV. I'll take care of this." Watching him wash the dishes, I felt immense love and gratitude. Even though he had his own work responsibilities, he still made time to support me. And of course, I did the same for him whenever the roles were reversed. I had always believed that Ronald and I would continue to lift each other up, building a happy life together. We weren't like the couples in movies or books where the husband was controlling. Ronald was kind and considerate. At least, that's what I thought. I had no idea what was about to come. One day, something amazing happened at work, and I couldn't wait to share the news with Ronald. "I'm home. Ronald, guess what? I have something exciting to tell you," I exclaimed as I stepped inside. He greeted me with a warm smile. "Whoa, what's the rush? You look thrilled." Catching my breath, I blurted out, "I got a promotion." Ronald's expression shifted slightly. "A promotion?" "Yes. The project I proposed was a huge success. And after some discussion, they finally decided to promote me." I hugged him tightly, beaming with joy. But Ronald didn't say a word. "Ronald?" I pulled back, looking at his face. His usual warmth was gone. "What's wrong?" "This means I can contribute even more. I'll take care of the extra expenses we've been splitting, like groceries and household supplies," I reassured him. "I see. Well, good for you," he muttered before heading to the bathroom without another word. At that moment, I was completely oblivious. I thought maybe he was just tired. I had no idea that everything was about to change. From the day I announced my promotion, Ronald's attitude took a drastic turn. One evening, after another late shift, I arrived home expecting dinner to be ready, just as he always did for me before. "I'm home," I called out. Ronald was lounging in the living room, scrolling through his phone. He didn't even look up. "You didn't make dinner?" I asked, confused. "I told you this morning that I'd be late and asked if you could handle it." He scoffed. "I don't remember that. Besides, cooking is a woman's job. Stop relying on men." His tone was cold, dismissive, completely different from the man I had married. "What? Since when have you thought that?" "We've always shared responsibilities," I reminded him. "Stop nagging," he snapped. "Just because you got promoted, don't start acting all high and mighty." He kicked the wall in frustration. Shocked and speechless, I stared at him. Up until now, we had managed everything together, balancing work and home life as a team. But from that night on, Ronald's words and actions grew harsher. "You're a woman. Your priority should be taking care of the household," he would say repeatedly. Even worse, he started mocking my career. "They must be desperate if they're promoting someone like you," he sneered. "Your company is a joke." His insults became a daily routine, not just on weekdays but even on weekends. Before, our days off were filled with outings and quality time. Now my weekends were reduced to endless chores under his scrutiny. "You missed a spot," he said one day, pointing at the window frame I had just wiped down. "I already cleaned it," I responded, confused. "There's still dust." "Are you blind?" he snapped. I checked again. There was nothing there. But he stood over me, watching, waiting. "Just do it again," he ordered. And so my entire day off was spent scrubbing the house under his supervision. Cooking became another battlefield. Before, he used to praise my meals, saying, "Eliana's cooking is the best. I'm so lucky." He would clean his plate with a smile. Now, "This is disgusting. How can you serve such trash?" He would dump an excessive amount of seasoning on the food, sometimes taking a single bite before throwing it away. I couldn't stay silent anymore. "Why are you doing this?" I demanded. It's your fault for making terrible food. Don't act like I'm the problem, he shot back. Each time he spoke to me like that, I felt a piece of our love crumble away. We had been so happy once. Now it felt like we were strangers. Arguments became routine. I pleaded with him. Please stop talking to me like this. But nothing changed. Worse yet, I found out from a friend who worked at the same company as Ronald that he had been bad-mouthing me at work. She only got promoted because she sucks up to the boss, he had told his colleagues. Hearing that broke something inside me. Sadness turned to anger. Even though my home life was falling apart, I kept going, pushing myself at work. But the stress took its toll. One morning at the office, a sharp pain tore through my stomach. I collapsed. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. The doctor diagnosed me with a stomach ulcer caused by extreme stress. I reached for my phone and called Ronald. It rang several times before he finally answered. What? I'm working overtime, he said, sounding annoyed. I've been hospitalized, I told him weakly. The doctor said I need to stay for a while. Can you bring me some things? Huh? Hospital? Seriously? He let out a short laugh. Wow. Well, that's on you. What? This is your own fault, isn't it? He said with a cruel chuckle. My own fault. At that moment, I realized the man I once loved was gone. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Who did he think he was to say something like that? After enduring my husband's arrogant behavior day after day, I had finally reached my limit. The stress he had put me through was the very reason I ended up in the hospital in the first place. My frustration grew stronger with each passing moment. The next evening, my husband finally decided to show up at the hospital. But instead of expressing any concern for my condition, the first thing out of his mouth was, "You're such a hassle." I was stunned. To make matters worse, he hadn't even brought everything I asked for, maybe 40% of it at best. And yet he had the audacity to smirk and say, "Aren't you lucky to have such a considerate husband? You should be grateful." I forced a polite smile and replied, "Thank you for coming despite your busy schedule." His smirk widened. You know, getting a promotion and then collapsing like this, you might end up losing that promotion altogether. I remained calm. I already informed my company and explained the situation. At that, he let out a dry laugh. Then, looking straight at me, he said, "If we got divorced right now, that would be a problem for you, wouldn't it?" I met his gaze. "Is that what you want? A divorce?" "Just kidding," he chuckled dismissively. But then he added, "You can't be a good wife unless I teach you properly. If you pull something like this again and inconvenience me, I'll make sure we get divorced. Oh, when, by the way, you can pay your own hospital bills. I won't give you a cent." With that, he turned and left, looking satisfied with himself. "I understand," I muttered under my breath. A few minutes after he walked out, I heard a buzzing sound from my bed. Confused, I lifted the blanket and found his phone lying there. He must have forgotten it. I picked it up, recognizing the familiar case. Just as I was about to set it aside, a series of message notifications popped up. I froze. There was a heart emoji next to the sender's name. In that moment, I understood everything. My husband had never put a lock on his phone, probably because he assumed I'd never check it. Before he could return, I quickly unlocked the screen. And just as I suspected, the messages were from his mistress. "I want to see you tonight, too." His reply, "My wife is in the hospital starting today. Want to come over?" Her response, "Really? In a way, that's kind of exciting." Then his final message, "Tonight, I won't let you sleep." Disgusting. Judging by the timestamps, they had been texting while he was on his way to visit me in the hospital. As if that wasn't enough, more messages followed. "I want to hear your voice. Is your wife okay? I hope she stays in the hospital for a long time. Let's have lots of fun together." I felt my stomach turn. This man who belittled me, who treated me like I was worthless, was cheating. Unforgivable. I clenched my fists. If he thought I was just going to let this slide, he was dead wrong. I opened his photo gallery, and sure enough, there were dozens of pictures of him with his mistress, posing together, holding hands, even some inappropriate ones. I felt sick, but I forced myself to stay calm. Without hesitation, I sent everything to my phone. Then I took screenshots of all their conversations, capturing every word as evidence. Just as I finished, the hospital room door creaked open. My husband walked in, looking irritated. Hey, did I leave my phone here? I had already hidden it under the blanket. Keeping my expression neutral, I asked, "Oh, did you misplace it?" His eyes narrowed as he scanned the room. Yeah, must have dropped it somewhere. After a moment, he found it under the blanket, grabbed it, and left without another word. Gathering evidence. A few weeks later, I was discharged from a hospital. But my mission was far from over. I reached out to a close friend who worked at the same company as my husband. She had connections with a lawyer, and I asked if she could introduce me. When I told her everything, she was furious. Are you kidding me? That's disgusting. Without hesitation, she set up a meeting for me. When I explained my situation to the lawyer, he advised, "We need more solid evidence. Keep gathering proof." Following his advice, I bought a small voice recorder and slipped it into my husband's work bag. It could be activated remotely, and I turned it on whenever he claimed to be working late. At first, it was tricky. I couldn't get clear recordings. But after 3 months, I finally captured undeniable proof. Recordings of their conversations, laughter, and even plans to meet up at hotels. When I played the evidence for my lawyer, he nodded. This is more than enough. We'll win this case. The confrontation. That night, I stayed awake, waiting for my husband to return from his so-called overtime. When he stepped through the door, he looked surprised to see me. You're still up? We need to talk, I said, stepping in front of him. Can't this wait? I'm tired, he grumbled. I took a deep breath. I want a divorce. His face darkened. Don't be stupid. You'll never escape me. You'll be my servant for life. I met his gaze without fear. Actually, I can, because I have proof. He blinked. Proof? What are you talking about? I pulled out the printed photos and messages, scattering them onto the table. His face turned pale. Where did you get these? He stammered, frantically trying to gather them up. You left your phone at the hospital. I saw everything. Oh, and I backed everything up. Deleting them won't change a thing. His entire body stiffened. Then, out of nowhere, he started crying. Wait, it's not what you think. She means nothing to me. I love only you. I scoffed. Don't ever come near me again. I grabbed my things, put on my shoes, and walked out, leaving him on his knees, sobbing. Moving on. I took a leave of absence from work, found a new apartment near my office, and moved out. My lawyer handled everything, and after the divorce was finalized, my husband's reputation was ruined. Rumors of his infidelity spread, and unable to bear the shame, he resigned from his job. Now, he struggles to make ends meet with multiple part-time jobs, living in a cramped, run-down apartment. As for me, I've never been happier. I focus on my career, visit my parents every month, and enjoy the freedom of living life on my own terms. Thinking back, there's still a lingering irritation when I remember my ex-husband. But I remind myself, escaping that toxic marriage was the best decision I ever made. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay tuned.